sheriff tell you that all cowboys had to be in bed by 10?
I'm the sheriff now.
Oh, really? Well, then I guess that makes me a U.S. Marshal. And I say it's bedtime.
But I'm not tired.
You better be glad I didn't make you go to bed a half an hour ago. You know what? Come here. Come here. Do you think you could fall asleep any faster if I told you a bedtime story?
Which? Is it one I heard before?
Oh, no. I have a very special one in mind for tonight. This one is completely 100% guaranteed truth. And if you don't believe me, you can ask your uncle because he was there. This is the story of how I met a very special woman.
More special than Mummy?
Oh, no, of course not. But you know what? I bet she's not going to want me to be telling you this story, so why don't we keep it a little secret between you and me? Okay? All right, and you go. All started a very long time ago. It was the end of the day, at 11:05. I had just come to visit my own piece of heaven. I was going to have a drink and relax with some friends. But this night, I sensed an evil that needed to meet its end. So, I made a call, in case my plan went sour. Yeah, I'm getting a drink. I might call in an hour. The story I'm about to disclose is true. In my day, there was no woman I couldn't woo. The Blue City Bar was a rare space indeed, filled with characters of all shapes and creeds. It was a place I could normally come to relax and impress local girls with my eloquent syntax. Usually, I was acquainted with all the faces, but tonight, someone special passed under my gazes. It was so painfully close to love at first sight. Send a classy drink to that new femme in white. I awaited her reply in no certain hurry. I had all my confidence and no need to worry. Her response, however, was surprisingly vile.
She says don't bother. You're not worth our while.
I knew it was a rare woman who avoided my hooks. Tell her no thanks. I can't resist her good looks. In my mind, I believed it a clever retort. After all, charm was clearly my greatest export. Things were looking good, till I heard her reply.
She says the solution is to avert your eye.
Never before had I been twice denied.
The pretty ones know best how to injure your pride.
This was a challenge to my distinguished history, and it only increased my desire for victory. This beautiful woman was without peer. She could have had any man in the bar, but came just for the atmosphere. At that moment, I saw my solution. For in the doorway stood some immoral pollution, a man of unspeakable evil grotesqueness. He had a darkness like a devilish empress. As he began to take in the scene he'd found, instantly, silence was all around. Everyone's fears had just been awakened. The house band even halted their plan. I'll admit, his entrance caused even me to pause.
Do you see the size of his claws?
He ignored all the attention for a more important mission: to drink a few bottles and lose inhibitions. But he noticed the woman while marauding the bar. Luckily, I could tell from a distance he was not getting far. The bartender bit his tongue in fright, as he clearly wished to escape his plight. But for the first time in ages, this monster spoke to another.
Get me a drink or I'll kill you and your mother.
This threat was not something he wanted to test.
Give me the bottle, you miserable pest.
Of all the eyes that watched this transpire, only 2 realized how to end the quagmire. My conscience could not let this hazard roam free. Plus, there was a second benefit for me. So I dialed once more an important number.
Things went south. Bring all the thunder.
My new foe slammed down shot after shot with the apparent tolerance of a 10-ton robot. His thirst was unquenchable. His desires, voracious. The darkness around him was turning vivacious. But I waited there, with calm in my every synapse, until finally, just enough time had elapsed. Shock spread through the crowd as I rose. I gathered my thoughts and struck a walking pose. As I sat, the bartender's face lit up with surprise.
Get me a drink, and this idiot buys.
As I expected, he erupted mid-gulp.
You do realize I could smash you to pulp.
Your empty threats have no effect on me. You see, I'm not susceptible to drunk mockery.
I then flashed him the card that gave my description.
M.K. Brisby, fighter of evil.
And writer of fiction.
Go back to your seat, you're not worth my while.
That's twice someone said that to me with a smile.
So I leaned in close and spoke straight to his ear.
Let's take this outside. I have nothing to fear.
Now provoked, he arose with a sinister flare.
I hardly think such a fight would be fair.
But unknown to him, his rage was my intention.
I think your toughness is but an invention.
The crowd stared on with increasing disbelief.
How can a mere man give this devil such grief?
I propose a contest to determine your worth, unless you're too much of a coward to show off your girth.
As I planned, his anger turned into a devilish grin.
Any battle with you, I'd assuredly win.
With him fired up, I had to explain one stipulation.
As victor, I'll require your life's resignation.
You do realize this will lead to your certain demise.
Do you see any hint of fear in my eyes?
I thought my deed was surely altruistic. But the crowd didn't seem as quite optimistic. As I began to wonder if this was a blunder, my ears picked up the distinct sound of thunder. There's a chance I'd soon draw my last breath, but any smile from her was worth chancing death. So I dropped her a wink and walked out with my foe. My heart began to race and my hot blood to flow. Every eye tracked me as I went to the door. This was a showdown that was hard to ignore. As I had already known, my help had arrived in the form of 3 faithful pals and a case full of jive.
You realize you're inviting certain doom. I'm about to make this alley your tomb.
Don't mistake me for some punk you can easily rid. I'm a quicker draw than Billy the Kid.
So, it's pistols then. How you wish to expire.
Oh, I plan on living long enough to retire.
He volleyed more threats on liquored breath.
Ah, but my loaded friends here will soon bring your death.
I wouldn't be afraid of 10 times that many. For a real man, some guts and a threat is plenty.
At the drop of this coin, I'll send you to your maker.
I'll save every penny for your undertaker.
The odds in there were for him to win.
I tried telling him before. I'm the best there's ever been.
That all this was my plan, no one would ever figure. I'd cleanly had my way without pulling the trigger. Where he would sulk to would remain a mystery. But no matter to me.
For the rest is history. I'll try telling you that one again when you're a little older.